Sorry.
That's okay. The storage unit is cleaned and our forms for equipment usage are in place and ready as needed. We have bylaws that we'll vote on that tell us what we are all about. We've had great speakers and activities planned by Melanie, and they've all been going well. I think the potluck with Kevin Martirosian was terrific. Tim bringing the fire truck was terrific. And an interesting note on that day, there were 2 or 3 people who came to see the fire truck outside, but did not join us inside. They were happy with the activity outside, but I said, why didn't you come in for a coffee or whatever? No, we don't do that. So, all right. So for the past close to 2 years, I've attended every activity offered by the Council on Aging. I've been available for Zumba and functional fitness, not only to participate, but also to take attendance and handle money. We now have a wonderful walking group that meets at least 3 times a week and receives daily communication by phone so that no one walks alone. And everybody knows where they're walking with the road construction. We have had wonderful lunch bunches and potluck lunches. We're very busy. That said, I am finding I can no longer be present and responsible at every activity. I started this journey of working with the Council on Aging to help and support a vivacious, energetic young woman to execute activities for us. She was told to work 8 hours per week. That was a ludicrous suggestion because she was also told to attend all activities planned and at least 2 lunches a week. Just one Wednesday for her was more than 6 hours in order to attend coffee, lunch, and show a movie. Such unrealistic expectations. And I asked before joining the Council on Aging about their search for a director. It was not happening because the person with the background of degrees necessary for the position would cost too much to hire. The Board of Selectmen, in their wisdom, wanted this voluntary board to fill in for the work of the never-to-be-hired director. And I think we have more than fulfilled their goal, but at what expense? I have spent about 15 hours a week, at a minimum, completing tasks for the Council on Aging. The mass printing of the Herald was 10 hours of my time with faulty equipment before I could even ask for help. And I did get help for collating, addressing. Well, that one didn't take addressing, but the help that was needed to get it out. I have made my personal appointments and commitments so as not to interfere with Council on Aging events. I have been ignored, personally criticized, and publicly rebuked. I have been brought to tears, told my work ethic demands too much detail, and have had many sleepless nights. I do not treat the people I work with and for in that manner. I have been told to let it roll off my back, develop a tougher skin, but I am who I am. I take the tasks which I've been asked to do very seriously. I've always been told to consider the source, but to me, that always gives bad behavior a lack of consequence and a pass. It was suggested earlier this year that the chairperson should be a rotated position, and I realize it was suggested as a criticism of my work. That said, I was advised by my family and my closest friends before even coming on the Council on Aging that I should not volunteer my skills and abilities to either the Council on Aging or OCAM. They were all afraid that I would be treated just as I have been. I wanted to work with other committed and dedicated people, and I have. All of you presently on the board and those of you who volunteer have been wonderful. However, we were set up for failure. We were given no clear path and did not receive information as to how to operate. There is never a sense of appreciation for what's been done. There's no communication with the appointing board as to our needs, whether we want to continue or not. It's just assumed that we will. Just assumptions that the work will be done and for nothing. We have had to develop everything on our own, and I have tried to clarify what needed to be done. I think it's time for someone else to be the chairperson. I am tired, frustrated, and in need of being able to reassess what's important in my own life. I would like to continue to attend activities and to enjoy the wonderful people I have met here. Done.
I would say one thing, that is you have not failed. I think that was built a very good senior center with very little reason.
Best it's ever been.
Yeah, this is, I think this is the best it's ever been. Yeah. So no, you have not failed. And, I take serious issue with that.
I think you're right,
I wonder where we all are going forward.
I think you're right that, your job is set up with unreal.
Expectations, yeah.
And I'm sorry to hear about the fight that you got. I wasn't, I know some of it, but not all of it,
Mhm.
I guess.
And in light of recent things, my husband has received flack as well. So,
Mm.
I hope that wasn't because of his involvement here, but wider involvement in the community.
mhm.
Shit.
And I don't know where we're going.
Yeah.
I can't be here all the time.
That's what I had spoken,
I just can't.
I guess I'm not allowed to say. But, my feeling is that we have a small group of people,
Mhm.
especially you, Barbara. You've really, borne the brunt. You have borne the brunt. No ifs, ands, or buts. Everybody else has said, I can help out with this, I can help out with that. But if something arises, then we back off and then you're left with it carrying it on your shoulders. And so there's like a small group of people, an even extremely small group of people carrying the big burdens. And we have a lot of seniors, but we don't see those seniors come to the senior center.
Nope.
We only see a small group of people coming to the senior center. And what I've found myself personally is that there's a lot that you have to learn when you're running a senior center. There's a lot that's involved. And even with the paperwork, like I was gonna call Frank Adams and say, okay, when do we need it? Send me the revised
Right.
copy, step me through this. Because filling out the paperwork for the formula grant it's quite ominous,
Yeah.
actually. And it's gonna take quite a bit of time. So I was reflecting on this and thinking, do we have the wherewithal to continue a council on aging in Ocam?
I don't believe so.
Or should we be blending with another?
I mean, I looked
council
at
on aging?
what the tipping point was this week. I think I made it to 9 o'clock on Monday on a mini vacation before I started to get the phone calls for things to fix here.
Yeah. And,
And it continued for the 2 days.
yeah, you really took the brunt of it there. Last night I got the email about Melanie's salary and it was. And
And I think
thankfully,
those kinds of things are going to be worse this year.
yeah, and I think that it was an oversight. My impression after I thought about it for a while, they probably said, oh, hourly this by 3%. Totally overlooked the fact that they had made a special agreement. But it's been fixed. Melanie sent out a email right after
You guys
mine.
know
and said,
about
This
that?
is a mistake. She is right. It's
You
excellent
know-
number of dollars.
I don't
know about
know.
that?
Do I know about this? I don't think I
No.
know about it. Or did I
Uh,
miss it last
I
night?
was reading Lori Barkis's email to us about the warrant dates and salaries.
I didn't get to read that whole thing.
Yeah, and she said, please review the salaries to make sure they're correct. So I went in to check on Melanie's and they had her at $18.54. And that's when I fired off an email to Lori Barkis with the agreement, the budget, how we arrived at the budget, the approval at the town meeting, yeah.
Only supposed to get paid $20.
And it's $20 an hour. And then Maribel sent off an email as well. And said, Claire is correct, those figures are wrong. It has to be $20 an hour. Please correct the figures.
Oh, good.
So it's going to be corrected. And I think that they just Probably just sent a list and said, raise everything 3%, because that's exactly what Lori did. But, you have to be on top of things. You really gotta.
And I really don't have the background or the wherewithal to do that.
Yeah.
I
well,
really don't.
Look,
And I'm
you use this
realizing-
stuff and you'll be fine.
No, no, thank you.
And I'm realizing I have to really keep track of things.
Yeah,
I have to, and document it, and I keep it in a special folder in case I have to say, well, this is what we, so I have backup, written backup.
I just can't keep being here every day. Because I go to Zumba, I collect the money, come back. Now you've fixed the attendance somewhat.
yeah.
Well, I haven't learned it yet.
Yeah,
Tuesdays we come up and it's that, but then the walking group and then yoga. So basically I'm here. If I want to participate in those things, I'm here Tuesday. And then Wednesday you start at 9 o'clock. Kathy and I have coffee at 9 o'clock and we're about the only ones until 10:30, 11 o'clock when people start to roll in. And then if there's a movie, then, well, without Melanie now, it used to be Melanie and I that did the
Yeah.
movie, but you're here till 3:30 after a movie. And then let's see, Thursday, you start up all over again. And Thursday, I come in and I did this to protect Melanie because initially when she was given the directive that she had to have activities scheduled, she'd say, I've got this on Monday, this on Tuesday, whatever. And well, but you don't have anything Tuesday afternoon and you don't have anything Thursday afternoon. What are you going to do then? So I said, just say the building's going to be open and we're going to play cards. I don't know how to play cards, but if somebody wants to teach me, I'm here. So I've been here. Rick has been nice enough to do Friday mornings, but then we have functional fitness. And then usually we either have lunch out or I have the potlucks have been wonderful. And
yeah.
our little group of people who have met to make this work. We could have our own social club of Ocam without all of the rules and the
Right,
details
Yeah.
that have to be picked up on,
yeah.
and probably expand. And I think being in this building is not a good thing. I really do.
I've been very disappointed about the number of people that come. Because
For the work that's involved.
Yeah, right. Also, I feel that the Herald should not be printed here and stapled and sent out. I think that it should be printed at like Oak Points Press. So all you have to do is mail it out.
Well, and
We don't have. the
that
staff
said,
to
we
do
are
that.
now up to 55 copies, hard copies that have to be mailed out, as well as those that are on email. And I'm quick to say, I get a text and it was over a weekend. It was the 1st of June. And I get a text that there are 15 Heralds that are undeliverable. So
And addresses?
my thing was to tell Melanie, 15, is this normal? 15 came back. Is this what you normally see? Well, she was on vacation. So now I'm interrupting a vacation to find out that it was something to do with Spectrum or whatever. It was one kind of address that for whatever reason would not go through because everybody
be
of the
online.
15 had the same address
Oh.
issue. And she was
Spectrum
able to
was down,
fix it.
Actually,
She was able to fix it with whatever, but this is just getting old. And you come back and now count the money, make out the forms, make sure you get them in.
And you have, so what you got yesterday that you didn't read, understandably, and I only read last night, was you have certain days for vouchering, certain days for payment.
Right.
So you have to go by those dates, and they just go. You have to have them by that.
Sorry about that. Somebody
So-
else can handle this
well,
So-
if
can
we
I-
have any
Can I make a suggestion?
suggestions. Yes.
Yeah, please.
I think there's obviously a big question here about our future.
I think so too.
So when it gets some other stuff out of the way, like just approve the
Sure.
policies and
Let's
bylaws,
do that and then go back to this. So
Yes.
this is a very,
then
And that's why I said, there were so few of us, I don't know if it meant doing it now. I could have waited till the end also, but
Yeah.
it's,
part of your
See-
report.
Yeah.
which sees what we got.
so.
Okay,
We don't have a report from Melanie, although I know she
Yeah,
has
we
some
should put that
things
in there.
coming. She
Okay.
has she has the AG coming in August, and she has
The
Attorney
AG,
General,
Attorney General coming in August.
really, to talk to us about?
actual Attorney General,
I believe so.
Wow.
well, what?
I knew at one point, but I'm not gonna think about it now.
That's exciting.
That's really good.
I
Could
mean,
be.
the offerings have gotten stronger and stronger and
They have.
stronger.
They've gotten much stronger, yes. That I do.
But if you don't have the audience to receive them, what's
Yeah.
the sense?
Right,
I mean, we're creating, and I've said this for a long time, we're creating activities for ourselves, which is great. But we don't need to do all the mismatched stuff in order to create it. We can do that on our own without all of
Yeah.
this.
It's nice to have some
Yeah.
funding and some
Yeah.
other things, but
yeah. The
I'm just saying.
concern that we had
Actually-
about driving and stuff, all
we've
that.
actually had
sense.
way more turnout this past year than I've seen at the senior center before. So to me, this seems like teaming with activity and participation.
And see, I wasn't aware of any of that because I have no background. I have no past history except what I've been told always happened when I did it. And it sounded like there was a lot more going on
There was
here,
nothing going on, Barbara. It was for a while.
It was.
Oh,
which,
You wanna go
which,
Should
back-
have petered
wanna go
out.
back 10 years maybe.
Yeah, there was for a while and then it petered out, you know.
but when you get that as your answer, it is only in a sense a put down for, well,
Oh, yeah,
what's the
definitely.
problem?
Definitely.
Well, let's do the rest and then let's
Okay.
come back, try to think what to do. Now I have my report and you have
Yep.
the official numbers.
Yep,
So my complaint.
sorry,
section
I
is-
am just,
I'm maintaining duplicate books here because everything's not getting posted.
Well, parallel books.
Parallel
Yeah.
books. So in any case, the operating budget, we still, at the end of May, at $4,775 and change left over. And the amount of money that we have in the coordinator's salary budget is going to go down by $540 because we processed a voucher. Barbara processed a voucher for Melanie that is for
if they accept it,
May and partially into June.
if they accept
Yeah.
it partially into June.
Yeah. And you know, I really don't see any reason why they can't. Your explanation was on point.
You know, she
Um,
did the work. She was here. We saw her. She's in the building doing.
Yeah, the problem was we said that the leave of absence would be effective June first, and the selectmen questioned what happened because June first, the leave of absence did not take effect. So and Barbara wrote them an answer that the work was not completed and there was a race to get it done and extended a couple days into June, and now it officially starts on June sixth. Yeah, so.
And partially is because of that, we canceled the Sandcastle trip because we would not be able to pay her in June for driving the bus.
So anyhow, that will go down a little bit. I'm expecting us to close out the coordinator's salary at $1,492 left. I didn't see any other vouchers that I had missed for outreach and for recreation. So unless we process something in
We were
June.
part of this was a plan to cover the bus
Okay,
for that Sandcastle trip, and we didn't
Okay.
know how much that was going to come in for.
okay. So, we'll probably end up, I'd say probably around $4,000, which is not bad. That's not bad. Donations, we have officially on the books a balance of $8,710.72. There is a voucher that is out there, has not been posted to the books yet. And that is for $55. So that'll bring us down to around 8,655. And the revenue, I have to point out, the revenue was only up to April. We had a donation in May for $100, so that hasn't been posted. So,
I think I have another $20 that I
Okay.
haven't put, that I haven't even put in yet.
so, officially on the books, it's $8,710. Probably add another $50 onto that, and that's what we're really gonna have, okay? The revolving account, the revenue is up to and including April.
I resubmitted that one for the gift card for 50.
Yes,
Did I hear you say
Donations
that
count?
in the donations?
I
account? Okay.
have that as the outstanding transaction, has
okay.
not yet been
Yeah,
gone through.
well, if
And I
they,
won't see
if
it.
they approve it.
If they approve it, I won't see it in the donations until the end of June. Yeah, but I'm taking that into consideration. I'm assuming that they want to approve it because it is donated money. And so that's why, that's part of the figure. I said that the donations will probably go up by another $50.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's $100 minus about the
About the
50.
50,
so,
gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
Mhm. The revolving account, we, on the books so far, only the revenue up to April has been posted. May has a revenue of $244 not yet posted. And the expenses go up through May. So it's getting hard because it's like comparing apples and oranges here,
Right.
you know? I got revenue up to April, but I got the expenses up to May.
Right,
So officially on the books, we've got $3,031.47. What we should have, if we post all revenue, would be a revenue figure of $4,813. With all the expenses, which the expenses through May did not show on the trial balance. An expense in May for $138, didn't show that. So the expenses were actually $1,676.23. So actually, what we should have on the books is $3,137. I am expecting that when you close out the year, you gotta post all the revenue for the year, and you have to post all the expenses for the year. At that point, we should be able to reconcile. But I'll tell you something,
Good luck.
this was in a company. It would be a different story.
So am I right that the only ones that'll carry over the donations in the revolving account?
The donations revolving account and the formula grant, the revolving grant is up to snuff.
Okay, the formula grant carries over too?
Right.
Yeah, and that's $3,322.26. That's up to snuff.
Mhm.
That comes from Laurie Barkus, and she always has it right on the nickel.
and
So we have about
we will
$18,000, give or take.
now this is the 14th. Melanie should be giving me an invoice for Zumba and functional fitness that will come out of this
Formula grant?
Yes, we've got to get
formula
that
grant.
in.
Yeah,
Now, Melanie sent out an email this morning. She wanted, I think, everything by the 17th.
Melanie did? No,
Maribel.
Maribel, okay.
So we should talk to Maribel about that because she put out an email.
And
She's looking for everything to close out.
then there's the question of whether we buy postage now
And forever.
in
Stamps.
forever stamps, right?
And forever stamp.
Yeah,
Well, for outreach, you have $1,000.
and
I don't
and
see
we have
anything about
50,
those.
we have 55 heralds that are mailed each month, which is coming out to what? At least 35,
Yeah, I have no idea what a
round up
stamp
to
even costs
40,
these days.
round up to $40.
68 cents.
Is it?
Yeah, well, 70 cents times,
Oh, 70, okay.
I'm rounding it
Round
up,
up.
70 cents times
55,
55 is $35 or closer,
38, 50.
yeah, a month,
Yeah.
going forward for a year. So, and I don't have a good count on how many
Yeah.
forever stamps are still downstairs, because we tried to do that last year. I'm saying it now because we ran into a big problem last year of trying to spend down that outreach money before the books were closed off. We were told they were gonna close on the 30th, and when we purchased them earlier than the 30th, we were told they had already been closed. Sorry about your bad luck.
So
So,
that's where we gotta talk to
Right.
Maribel.
right,
So if you buy 110, that's gonna be close to $80. I mean, you're not gonna really spend it down, but we do have a smaller budget next year. Yeah. So let's talk to Maribel, because I came out this morning. I wasn't too clear on it, so I really should talk to Maribel about when she has to have everything in. So we gotta get that invoice from Melanie Too Sweet, if not sooner.
You can also buy a couple of toner cartridges for the machine too.
She
That's-
did. You spent
Well-
money.
Well, I did,
Oh, you did?
but those are already in the machine.
Oh,
Those are already in the machine.
then we should. Yeah,
And I ordered that through Maribel.
yeah. So we should probably order a couple of those. Those are like $70 a piece.
Mhm.
Yeah, 77 and 140. Okay. Now we're starting to talk a little bit. That's 270, $220. That leave us with 800 in the account. That's, Wait a minute, yep. Yeah.
In which account now we're talking
I've-
outreach?
Outreach. Outreach. Because the newspapers, I consider that outreach. The stamps that get them to people, I consider that outreach. We're trying to reach about. Huh?
Mhm.
Stamps were always.
Always
counted as
Oh,
outreach.
they
Yeah,
did, okay,
yeah.
yeah.
So, and then it's how many stamps to buy?
Well, that's way.
I've
Yeah.
done 110. Let's just say 200. So that brings it up to close to $300. Leaving 700 in the account, which is,
Well, and if we buy the toner, would that, no, that's not outreach. That's,
I put that into outreach too. So 70, so what do I have here?
It's more like office supplies. Isn't it?
but that's.
We don't have it, we spent
It's
that.
gone.
Already gone?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah,
spent
we
that.
did that,
So 70 cents times 200 is $140.
right?
Two toners, I said, is $140, 70 a piece.
Yeah.
So rough and dirty, $300. And I take it out of outreach because,
Why not?
yeah, yeah. And if they get upset about that, people get upset about that and come out of the formula grant. Because the formula grant allows for printing of the newspaper. And it did before.
Yep.
That's where the money was coming from.
And I think that this, actually, the $70 was only the black toner. And I got an extra long black toner, but I wonder if the next one shouldn't be the four pack with, it has 3 colors and a black. Because Steve gave us a whole set. I've already used up one of the yellow that was in his thing, and I don't know when the other colors are gonna go, because I'm just
Yeah.
watching the machine. So I don't know if we should order the sets of cartridges.
I don't know how much they cost, but even if you order $300 worth of printing supplies, that still brings us up to around $450 and you still have
Yeah.
What do we use?
$560 left.
The last ones went out with pictures
They all did?
colored, yeah,
Oh, good. I
they
didn't
did,
realize that they
yeah,
all did.
the ones that were hard copy, they went out with color. Because we had the availability. Yeah, I don't know how to do it on this machine upstairs, but I did them all downstairs,
Great.
so.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it.
Well, and I feel like I'm whining and complaining, but since December, all of those hard copies have been left to me to print and address and get to the post office and mail out. That the person doing it was unavailable for, well, they've been unavailable since the change of the year, since January.
Well, definitely tell me this time and I will come and help you.
Yeah,
Who was
So-
doing it?
Jan.
I will
And
come and help you.
And other people, Linda Hausman, please tell me when you're doing the Herald. I want to come and help. I mean, that
Okay.
we have had offers from
That's good.
people that we haven't seen
Hmm.
before that are, and I feel bad about that. It's just that I just can't keep doing it. So the cartridges and $200 worth of stamps.
Yeah. That's $500, at least 500 in the account.
Yeah.
And we still have money in recreation, as long as you are not negative in the entire expense account, you are fine. You can be negative on a line item.
Yeah.
No,
See, I
it's
thought
not
we were
account.
gonna spend down that recreation with the bus and the trip to the sandcastles, but obviously that's not gonna happen.
That's pretty close.
Now, the question is, I think Maribel put down a deposit, didn't she?
Melanie, yep.
Somebody's gonna have to change their name. Because,
Oh, Becky says all roads to the senior center are blocked off, so I won't be coming.
okay,
So that's that. Let me see about Melanie. I meant
done,
to
Claire?
ask her this morning.
yes,
Okay, my secretary's report is pretty simple. I've taken on the project of reorganizing the files. And making sure that we have places for all the stuff that we should be keeping track of, like Jan's resignation letter, things like that.
Yeah, I have,
So
I have it here too.
So I've already taken down the list of file headings we have now. And work into some kind of a logic and reorganize that. So that's all.
I'm sorry, I have to say one thing, is that I noticed that you had a voucher, Barbara,
Yep,
on May 8th for $138 from Melanie for Hertz Van Rental.
that was the last one. That was the Blessings Barn. I believe,
Good.
Okay,
I
Unless they
believe
were,
that was the Blessings Barn.
okay, great. Okay, so that hasn't been posted to our account yet.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, okay. Yep, I
No,
mean, we turned it in,
I'm
but it
gonna
hasn't
make a
been
mess if I look
posted
it up.
for May. All right,
So that would come out of recreation if it hasn't come out yet, right? That 138.
revolving account. It was posted to the revolving account, all right, it was signed into the revolving account, it's fine.
Yeah, leave it.
Don't worry about it,
Okay,
don't worry about it.
okay.
Yep, I just have to ask them, why didn't that get posted?
Do you need, file drawer access downstairs? There's a file drawer with folders and a place
That's-
right in the
that's what I was
office.
looking at.
Yeah,
That's
did
what's
you
going
look
through.
in there?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, okay. Yeah,
Um,
Melanie
and I
set
have-
it
and I
up,
have some of the plastic
the little titles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and the cards, so I can,
yeah. Yeah, Melanie set it
Who
up
set it
and
up?
she has gotten most things.
Yeah.
in
she's not the most
order.
organized person in the world. Looking at that file cabinet.
Right, right. Well, and I have put things in kinda not knowing where she wanted them.
Yeah.
So,
I tend to be compulsive about these things, so.
oh, okay. I
I've
need
been
somebody
criticized quite a lot
compulsive
for
because
her file.
Hey,
I've lost my
mine's
compulsivity.
perfect.
I've lost my I've lost that.
Composure.
I've lost it. Okay,
Right, so up to old business.
old business.
Well, you had, you know, put some time and thought into the bylaws.
What?
You put some time and thought into the bylaws. Have you had a chance to? Probably
I
not.
think what you have is fine.
Okay.
I'm a great person in believing in keeping things as simple as possible. I know there was a mention of adding to the membership of the council, the possibility of bringing people from outside of town. I don't think that's
The
necessary.
associates.
I think that should just
Hmm.
not even be considered at this time.
I didn't realize until afterwards that this had to do with Jan.
Yeah.
She's the associate.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or was,
Was.
until she chose not to work with us.
I didn't see a reason for it. I can't imagine somebody from another town wanting to just arbitrarily join.
I didn't
Our meetings.
hear anybody knocking at the door.
Well, if, for example, we say we don't have enough attendance to support a senior council, senior citizen council, then I can see if we blended with another senior citizen council, we would want an associate member from the town of Oakland on their council of aging. I see that more appropriate.
More appropriate for somebody else than us. In other words.
She
Yes,
didn't-
exactly. Yes. I see that when you merge, when you blend. with another town, then you would want associate members.
Okay, so Melanie is saying that, no worries, all set. I didn't cancel it yet in case people change their minds. I will do it now. They don't even have my credit card, so it's all good. This
Oh,
is for
good.
the bus that would
Yeah,
have been
yeah,
next
yeah,
week,
okay, so,
so.
okay, good, that's wonderful.
Do you folks all agree that we could just as well leave out the section on associate members?
Yes,
I think so,
I think so.
yes.
I think that was put in for a specific person
Yeah.
back in the day. And it worked for a certain amount of time, but I don't know that we're seeing anybody that's wanting to come and make
It doesn't seem like
an
it's
input.
It's not important.
No,
not necessary.
No,
Okay, so I'll make that, well, sort of folks feel comfortable
Yeah.
approving
yes,
bylaws subject to that change.
that's correct.
Okay,
okay.
I'll make the change, and then there'll be,
That'll be it.
So do I take a motion to approve
Yes.
the bylaws
Yep.
with the change that does not include associate members? All in favor?
I
seconded that?
Oh,
I did, just now.
just now. Seconded it after the thought. Uh,
You know what? I'm sorry, shouldn't say anything.
Yes,
I'll
say what
wait.
you'd like. You're among
Well,
friends.
friends here.
You know, I think I'm gonna run some stats out of my senior center. See if I can't get names out of there to see how many people actually come. And who it is that's coming.
I can tell you.
I'm sure you can, and it'd be a great double check on the figures I run.
I can tell you, I mean, it's, I think the most the potluck, I think we've had 22 at Lunch Bunch, but those people who are the extras at Lunch Bunch only come to Lunch Bunch. They don't
Yeah.
come to anything else at the senior center.
Yeah.
But it's still a head count.
It's, oh, no, I know for that, Kathy, I'm thinking of
To give us a feel
for where we are,
are.
with attracting people. To me, the things that have been offered pretty much outside the senior center have been most attractive.
Yes, and they all have to do with food or
Well,
exercise.
well,
Food,
exercise.
exercise, and a couple of the trips. Mechanics Hall was very
That was
nice,
nice.
and it was nice not having to park. The Blessings Barn was very nice for the day.
No, so I missed that.
There's another one, back last year, we did the Bridge of Flowers. That was a car full for a day. Those specialty kinds of things. But going forward, I have the list, and I have it somewhere, of all the trips offered by Nancy Wilby in Paxton. They get full buses,
I might
a
have-
bunch of, yes, but I think I gave it to you for the Herald. But a bunch of us could get together and say, hey, Nancy, we want to come on a trip. If there are enough people that sign up here. And we go as our own OCAM group with Paxton. Her husband worked for AAA. He managed the Paxton trips for years in his retirement. He has passed. And there's a couple that I went to school with and his wife that are continuing to run the trips. They've done overnights. It's great. And I can talk to Nancy, Nancy's last name, Kathy.
Willoughby?
No, in Rutland.
Rutland,
Daniels? No,
Nichols.
close. No. They have trips, they have a big book of trips offered. I can just see, if we want to do things, I can just see a bunch of us getting together and researching what's out there. If it's the same group of us that want to do things, which it seems to have been,
Yeah,
then trying to bring in new and different speakers and all of that all the time just doesn't,
Yeah, let's hold off on that a little bit.
yep, go ahead.
Um,
Am I
There's one other-
jumping?
There's one other item of old business. I'd like
Okay.
to just clear it up. We never did actually approve the policy on durable medical equipment.
We didn't. I thought we had,
Because we changed one part of it, which was to allow
oh, younger people.
loaning of equipment to,
Anyone?
Yeah, anybody, yeah,
so that changes in that.
okay,
Okay,
okay.
incorporated.
Then can I take a motion to approve the durable equipment policy, including the addition of wording to allow anyone to
Well, that's
borrow?
already in there. So
Okay,
all we didn't need to do was
Okay.
approve it.
okay, can we approve the durable equipment policy?
I second.
Second,
Moved by Barbara, seconded by Claire.
all in favor?
Aye. Are there any no's? Any abstentions? Votes unanimous.
Not a voting member.
He's not a
Oh,
voting member.
okay.
Okay, so we had two items under new business,
Yep,
which was summer plans and activities.
right.
And the plan for staggered terms on the COA.
Well, we already know that one's
Well,
done.
we don't know. That's done. And what I would suggest we just kind of throw this open as to where we go from here.
Yeah.
I
because
think
they're all
the
interrelated.
terms are a moot issue depending upon which way we go. You know,
Yeah, but just so folks know, I was not going to accept the terms. They get no business telling us what our terms are going to be. We could easily volunteer that I'd like the 2 year, I'd like the 3 year, I'd like the 1 year.
Mhm.
Why they would think that they need to do that for us, just boggles my mind with their arrogance.
simplifying things, that's all they were doing.
Did you?
Yeah, sure they were. They'll find this isn't so simple.
Well, I lucked out. I got the 1 year term
That isn't the way it
and I'm
works.
keeping it.
I got the 3 year, that where you will not stand.
I think all towns do that. Yeah, Rutland does.
Well, the way it usually works, once it's set up, whatever position is opened comes with a term of years.
Yeah.
Now, the 3 year position is open now, the 2 year position is open now, but we're starting from scratch. And for them just to willy-nilly say, oh, year 1, year 2, year whatever, is just foolish, really, and unnecessary. They just asked us for our plan of how we wanted to do it, and they didn't.
Well, they, in my position, feeling as I have this year, they could have asked me, would I like to be reappointed? I only had a 1 year position to begin with. I'm done this
Yeah, you
month.
haven't even applied for reappointment.
No,
They reappointed.
nothing. So just to assume, okay, it's going forward, I'm sorry, that I find it wrong. And this is the other email that I got. I hope you got to enjoy some time off. I think I made it to 9 o'clock Monday morning before I started getting stuff. And I did write the letter to the Board of Selectmen specifically stating the dates of Melanie's leave from 6/6 through Labor Day. This is Maribel. I want to inform you that moving forward and for future reference, the Board of Selectmen as the appointing authority are the ones to approve leaves of absence. The council can approve payroll, expenses, a work schedule, things that are directed by the COA. So, as well as our appointments.
Well-
And then if I head back to the grant that we lost, I was only an appointed person. I wasn't.
Yeah.
So,
Let me put it up on the table. Unless you're interested in becoming the chair of the COA, or Becky is, which I know she isn't. I have a strong sense that there's no one that's gonna step up to your position.
nope.
And if I did, that would just leave a whole bunch of stuff that somebody else would have to do. Probably wouldn't find anyone eager to take this one, or Claire's.
Or Claire's.
So I think we're hitting the wall. Because we never had a lot of people. And then Jan was gone. And great that you and Becky stepped forward
And
kept us going.
you guys have been great. I
Yeah.
mean, at least Kathy, I mean, that whole blood pressure thing, I've said since the beginning, we should be covered. The Council on Aging should be covered for blood pressure. Podiatry nurse told me that in every senior center she goes to, there is a member of the Council on Aging with her when she's
Yeah.
dealing with people. And the same thing with blood pressure. For this whole last year, until Kathy and Becky and Judy took over, there were no appointment reminders and no one was here. So I mean, even with numbers on the board, unless the roles are being fulfilled, it's kind of
Yeah.
meaningless too.
And on top of that, we're still a small group.
Yeah,
Melanie situation is complicated everything. We have no assurance that Melody's even gonna come back on the
No.
phone.
we
That's
don't,
right.
we don't.
And going through the summer
Yep.
without her sport and activities, which is just complicating everything.
I have activities we can do and I have a calendar.
Yeah, I think
set.
there's lots of things we can do,
Yep.
but it all takes some manpower and time. And I'm not sure that we have that. So I think proposal needs to go on the table. We need to talk about it, is whether we want to disband the Council on Aging here in Ocam and merge with another town.
Merging with another town is going to take some effort because there's finances involved as well.
Mhm. Mhm.
Though we have some money left over.
Well,
No, you
no.
have to, the two towns have to have a contract.
I know,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. We have something at least to work with.
and at one point, we had Melanie in position where for example, Rutland did not have an activities coordinator,
Mhm.
but they did have a full-time director. And we could maybe say,
Add it in.
yes, one can
Mhm.
do but Melanie has voiced several times to me that there is no future for her here in Ocam. There's never going to be she was hoping pie in the sky a year ago that she'd slide in to what Lucy was doing as director and that it would be a better position for her going forward. That's never going to happen.
Well, I
They
think
are
we
not
could-
going to pay for a director. And,
But trouble is the pay. And we'd
Yeah.
be happy for her to do all the things that Lucy did and more, and she already is doing.
right, Right.
But there's only so much pay that we can come up with.
right,
Um,
right.
So,
I hate to be the one to drop the ball, but I can't keep doing this. This is crazy.
I guess my thought is that what we might do is in the next Herald, talk about the idea that the lack of sufficient manpower, that we're considering dissolving the Council on Aging and merging another center. And we would like to have people's input at the next
Opinions.
meeting. And have a talk about it.
I would, I'd talk with the selectmen first. I would talk with the selectmen first. I wouldn't go ahead and do that until I met with the selectmen and said, this is what we're looking at.
From selectmen.
Well, at least I want to bring them abreast of what's going on and to tell them that, in the next Herald, we're gonna let people know that the situation we're facing. And we'd like to have their input about merging with another town, because they have to negotiate that contract.
do.
They have to
Yeah, they
approve
have
whether
to
or
do
not
the
we're
money.
gonna do that or just shut down the Council on Aging.
Yeah.
We can't do it on our own. You have to let them know as the executive body.
No, obviously they know that they get the Herald.
Well, that's not the way you tell them. That's not the way you
You're not
tell
gonna
them.
tell them yet. Except that we're considering it, that's all.
That's exactly what you tell them.
Fine, I wasn't arguing that you don't.
Okay. So we meet with them first.
They're worthwhile.
We meet with them first and say, this is our situation. And that's why I'd like to get some statistics matched with yours. And the fact that Barbara's been carrying it on her shoulders. It isn't that other people haven't been approached, but they don't have
The wherewithal.
the wherewithal. They have other responsibilities that could prevent them from fulfilling the responsibilities here.
And I'm gonna throw another monkey wrench in. Some of the people who originally wanted to be on the Council on Aging, thinking it was just going to be helping to do the Herald and all that, then got a taste of the drama that goes on to do those things, and they wanted no part of it. They backed off completely from being on the Council on Aging when they
Yeah, well,
heard all the criticism and
Unfortunately,
whatever.
We're gonna be finding that in every,
I'm
Every
I'm
place.
sure you're right,
I think,
Kathy.
yeah,
I'm sure
you're
you're
right.
right.
small town politics.
You always
Yeah.
have drama queen,
Yeah.
But the sad truth is, we got a nice increase in participation
I
from
know.
people. But it hasn't really translated into more people in the senior center itself. Or more people want to get involved in making these things happen.
Right.
So I think we've given it the best shot that it's gotten in a long time. Because it's been declining for a long time in terms of participation. And, I thought that some of that was the personalities that were in charge
Mhm.
back then. That's changed and it did help participation, but it hasn't really brought people back into senior center. And we don't look like we're gonna be able to grow, do the things we wanna do. And if Melody's job is what it is, and that's all it's gonna be, she's gonna be gone, we'll be looking for somebody else again.
Mhm.
So,
There's no benefit for her here. And I don't just mean insurances and all of that. There's just,
And the growth.
But I think that Melanie's looking for something a little bit more stable, because she's gonna look down the
oh,
road.
she's got to
for-
look down the road.
Yeah, when she's no longer
That's
able to
definite.
do what
That's
she's
definite.
doing.
But now with her gone, all right, when Lucy left, all the finances, thank you for doing that part, but all the invoices and all of that. Okay, so I'm not just doing, helping Melanie anymore, I'm doing the invoices. And then for every activity,
You have to collect the money,
collect the money and then
voucher
set-
it.
voucher it. And then
Mhm.
every activity that's here, all right, who's bringing what and what's
you have
happening
to
where,
supervise
and,
Melanie.
you know?
It's a lot of work.
So I don't know. I don't know. I hate to see it go because I love the people and the group that we've gotten together.
Yeah.
And I do see the growth, but I see the growth more in exercise
Well,
situations.
Potlucks.
And
other things,
potlucks. Yeah,
People like the activities, they like eating, they like
Yeah.
exercising,
yeah.
but they don't have,
The
time or
potlucks, I'm
whatever.
gonna tell you, have been great because everybody has stepped up to bring something and clean up and all of that. That is the easiest of what's going on. It's the day to day and what, it's the day, for me, it's the day to day and what am I forgetting to do? And now if there's time limits on when I can put what invoice in and another hoop to jump through.
It's just end of
That's-
the year.
Oh, that's just end of the year.
That's
Oh,
just end of
okay. I
year.
thought you were going to tell
No,
me
no,
that
no, no,
now
no.
when I
Oh,
turn in
the
the,
vouchers and stuff,
the
they just
vouchers.
let you know what date they're gonna voucher and what day you can expect the payment. So you'll see. the
oh,
schedule.
okay.
You'll know. the
I
schedule.
thought it was when I was bringing money in and can I bring it in on
No,
a certain, I just was not gonna have another
Yeah.
schedule
Yeah,
to keep.
she's just letting you know, this is the day that
Yeah.
you get your vouchers in,
Yeah.
because the selectmen will approve them, and this is
Right.
when you can expect a check. Yeah.
No, the situation that you're in is not unique, okay? Finance committee's down to 2 members. They can't get anybody to go on.
Mhm.
The Historical Association,
Mhm.
okay?
Yeah,
That whole group is basically fed up with the whole thing because they can't get anybody to come in and help. I mean,
yeah.
Dr. Hausman's, I mean,
I know.
Kenny's what, 90?
I know.
Okay? There isn't a young person in
No.
that group.
And we need
And
young, someone
they
young
can't
to
even-
do it. We
They
really
can't even
do.
raise funds to work on the old schoolhouse.
No,
Okay, I mean, they're like
I agree.
in the same manner that we're in right here.
Right.
Uh,
So are we going to stay on as heroes to keep things going or,
There's the big question, I think.
I-
whether
I
this
think-
town
I
is
was
even
trying to
viable.
make a
oh,
point.
point, yeah,
I think we have to look at a different avenue, how to get people to come in. I mean, the San Souci's, Liz, okay? I don't know what she's doing now. I mean, she basically was totally fed up with Parks and Rec. I mean,
Yeah.
she took an awful lot of abuse on that. Doesn't want anything to do with the town, basically,
Right.
okay? But she would be a fabulous person
yes.
for the senior center.
I talked to her not long ago and I said, when are you going to start coming to the senior center? She called in for something. And she said she wasn't ready yet. She wasn't on board yet.
I mean, another perfect person be like Dawn Thistle. She's retired from the library in North Brookfield. I don't know what she's doing with her
She's
time.
doing the secretary of the church. She is the secretary at the church right now.
Which would
Yeah.
be perfect as far as background for coming in and assisting. I mean, there are people out there. I just don't know how to approach some of these people, you know?
I've talked with Behringers, Sopays about it, and they just won't do it.
No. I've talked to Linda
That's just
Berenger.
coming down. I don't think Linda would want to be a chair, let alone vice chair.
Linda Berenger said she would never come here.
That's my impression.
Never come here. I go to book club with her and I said, well, gee, that would be fun if, why couldn't we get the seniors to be part of the book club? She said, I won't go there. I won't go there, but she'll come for podiatry. So they'll use the services, but they won't necessarily participate in soupers. I have gone to them face to face. You used to come to the senior center. Will you come again? No.
Did you ask why?
Difficult.
Personality.
Yeah.
I would add another item to that, which is we also have a difficult space.
We do, the space is killing us because think about it, if you had a space where the exercise could be
Yeah.
ongoing, people like the walkers. A lot of us come in afterwards and we'll have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and we'll sit and chat for how long. Sometimes it goes on and it's a comfortable space and it's a fun thing. That's walking here. How do we fit Zumba here? We can't. And the other thing going with that, Melanie made all the arrangements for Zumba and functional fitness to get us places at all. That's
Yeah.
usually a director's job.
It is a lot of work. It's ongoing.
The
You know,
other
a lot of
thing-
senior centers have pool tables,
Yes,
you know, they're
Barry does.
things that attract
Yep,
men down there.
yep.
Rutland had one, but they never used it.
We used
Yeah.
it.
Ended up giving it away.
And Barry
Yeah.
has them, and the day I was only there once, but there were men using the pool table up there. So,
So I think there's reasons to think about this is a positive move to get us hooked up with another town. But I think actually that
You know, I
this
mean,
town may not be viable.
you don't necessarily have to be a senior to get involved, okay? I'm
exactly
surprised
right.
nobody's approached Aaron Langlois and said, hey, you know what? We got a place for you.
I think it's too soon.
We could always ask, he can always say no.
He was the last I talked to him was, saying to me, you can't leave, because you know what's gonna happen if you leave. But I also know I have to look at what I can do too. So,
And your mental health.
yeah,
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I think you're right, Paul, but that's reason to have a meeting, an open meeting, and talk to people about it. This is what we're looking at. Unless somebody can step up, more people want to get involved, that can make a difference. We have a meeting, hopefully some of those folks will show up. But Claire and I have talked about, I'm not sure that this town is viable.
Yeah, I don't think it is long-term.
It'd be a lot more efficient and cost-effective if we just merged with probably all four towns, or four of the towns in the Quabbin district, became one big town with villages. Close a couple of schools, consolidate police departments, and fire departments. You'd afford a town manager at that point. There's a lot of reasons that would make sense.
I agree.
I know that there's not a lot of folks in the town want to hear that. But I think that's where it's heading over the years. I think that's where it's gonna go, especially as we can't get volunteers and as the jobs become more complicated, so complicated, nobody wants to do them. Aaron was talking about hiring a town manager, but this town can't afford it,
No, there's no way,
so.
no way.
I think he was talking about it because they had some kind of a meeting with people from the state. The auditors, I believe, and the auditors had made I believe, I could be
Recommendation?
lying. They made the recommendation that what you guys really need is a town manager.
There's actually a lot of small towns that do have them,
Yeah, Yeah.
just because it's so hard to navigate.
right. Right.
Grants and
You
stuff.
have to get the
So-
right one.
I
Yeah, you
think
do.
he repeated the fact that Ocam needs a town manager, and it was then put on him that he wants one, so.
What the state will say is this, is that because of the laws and because of things are getting more sophisticated in terms of the laws, plus grants, that you
Mhm.
need somebody who really knows the government
Mhm.
to get you the things you need for your town.
And
And,
somebody who's full-time doing this, working on
Right.
this stuff.
can
well,
pay
and I've
attention
looked
to it,
like
yeah.
on the
That's what
COA
they're saying.
website when it comes in, and there are opportunities for grants. I don't know what I'm looking at. I really don't know I mean, the last one was explained to me and I could handle that one, but as far as looking forward to new ones that we could use, I don't have that
And grants
expertise.
are also work.
Yeah,
You get money, but
Yep.
you have to,
yep,
You have to
Organize to
account for the
spend it.
money.
right.
So what they were saying is very small towns we would fall into that category. Because when people talk small towns, talking Hudson,
It's not small, that's a.
that,
it's-
that is not a city. That is considered a small town. We are kind of not on the map. So they were saying that the small towns need to blend or merge.
When I went to that rural, the talk that we went to at
Yeah,
the conference
yeah.
on rural towns, they were talking about Eastham. And did they say they had 4,000 people and whatever, and it wasn't just summer residents? And I'm thinking, that's a big difference from what we're doing. And
Yeah,
they
we're
had
not-
like, they had like a 10-page herald. And they said, oh, you just go and you get all the stuff from your police department and you get it from your fire department and you get it from the scouts and you get it from the whatever. Well, yeah,
They could do that.
Yeah. They're not talking about a small town.
no,
I
no.
don't mean that at all.
Mm.
So, and that's why they had said for you to be viable in the future, you would have to blend. And at that time, I asked the state, send me the list of towns that have merged. And they sent me Rentham and Hamilton and how they had merged. They stayed distinct towns, but one did police, one did highway, one did library, one did senior center, one did this, one that.
Mhm.
One
So
library in the two towns?
they had libraries in the two
One
towns,
person
but the
charge.
one library department,
One librarian.
one police department, one.
Yeah.
Take a look at New Braintree and Hardwick.
Yeah.
Where they're sharing services.
Yeah.
I mean, we've
We
already,
already started sharing
Yeah.
services
Yeah,
with
with-
Rutland.
yeah, with ambulance
With-
and so on
you know.
and so forth. So,
And I mean, Elder Services has already merged us to do meals with Hardwick, New Braintree. Is there another one? Barry won't do them.
No,
What do,
So the elder meals that are served, that we package them downstairs to be sent to Hardwick, New Braintree and Oakham.
Hmm.
And Barry will not, they said they would not be part of that agreement. I
But
don't
they
know,
do
do
supply
they
meals-
send their own to
they supply
Barry?
meals to their own people,
something?
right?
I don't know. I don't know how that works.
I don't know. I know Paxton gets them from Holden,
Holden, yeah.
and the only reason I know that is I was talking to Sue yesterday.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that was nice. She was here.
yeah.
Sue Denisha was here yesterday doing the meals.
Well, this being this a subject of further discussion, the heading of new business for summer plans and activities. I would say let's forget about the townwide yard sale.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
I don't even.
And I think
think
really the
about
question is, what do we really want to do this summer? That,
Okay, I put out that little questionnaire
Yeah.
kind of thing,
there are a
so,
lot of things that were nice to add to
right,
our schedule, but I think it's a question of what we want to,
be responsible for,
keep continue.
right.
When all our-
So you had ideas for films. At least 3 people said they want to do a picnic at Derek's to pick blueberries. I suggested and several people agreed to have the librarian, Lauren, the new librarian, come and meet her and maybe do some suggestions for summer reads. At least 3 people want to do cookouts. Let's do more cookouts. Well, we have a grill downstairs, but I don't know who's been living in it and whether it's feasible or not. Okay, somebody asked for a speaker on Medicaid, that down the road, we may have Medicare, but the possibility of us all needing Medicaid might be
It comes to
important.
long-term care.
long-term care. And then I have the townwide yard sale, and if we have all 4 of us, 5 of us to do the townwide yard sale. Yeah.
I think it'd be hard. I think it'd be hard to do.
Now, as far as other things, I talked to Tim Howe. And he has a cookout barbecue planned for us at 12:30 on the 26th of July at the fire station. That's the firemen's, so that would take the place of one of our potlucks. I don't know, do the police still do it, or is it just fire that does
I think it were
barbecues?
2 different things.
Were
Yeah,
they
they-
two different things?
Yeah, the police did it at Lake Dean.
They did it, no, it was
Campground?
at the fire station last year.
Well, the fire-
The police too?
Yeah.
Well, there used to be one at Lake Dean Campground. wasn't
Yeah.
there?
They used to, but
they
I
used
know last year it was at,
We
Uh,
personally,
can
from the COA, ran a picnic at Lake Dean last year.
that was us.
That was us. Yeah. And that was not well attended either. So,
Well, I would say just go with the fire station and leave it at that.
okay, and Tim has two offerings. He will come, he said it would be a nice thing in the summer because we could be in air conditioning or whatever, and he will do CPR training for all of us. We would not be certified, we would not get the paper that says we know, but we'd get the same course. And I thought that was a good idea. All of us living with elderly people and possibilities of things happening, to get a refresher in CPR might not be a bad thing. And he has a new course called CRAZE. CRAZE, CRASE. And it's a new course that he has just certified for in active shooter situations. So if you're in Walmart or if you're in whatever and there's an active shooter, what should you know and what should you do other than run? For those, so he says he's happy to do that one. So he has two courses for us.
I think that's good.
So if you think of Zumba on Monday, cornhole, walking and yoga on Tuesday, the coffee on Wednesday and fitting in any one of the speakers, just be closed on Thursday? Oh, we're closed. Now I haven't, no, that's the 4th of July. So we'd be closed the 4th and 5th probably of July anyway.
I figured you're talking about the whole summer.
Oh,
You're talking about the whole summer.
no,
closing
no,
out
I thought I was, but then I looked and it's the 4th of July, why I wrote closed. But
Because I can see going, closing on Saturday, move me to a different day if that would help.
we are closed on Saturday.
Friday, I meant to say.
Oh. We
I don't
could
see a
be.
reason to continue with that if
Well-
we're shorthanded elsewhere.
Well, we have the lunch bunch on Friday and we have potluck or that
Yeah.
cookout on Friday. Our meeting is the 12th. So it's only one Friday that we'd be missing, and that's the 5th, which probably you wouldn't get anybody here, the 5th of July.
No, it's not gonna-
You probably wouldn't get anybody here anyway.
But I can move, if I did films, Joe would mind doing,
Mhm.
even if I'm the only one watching them.
Okay,
I could do that the first and third Wednesdays.
1st and 3rd, that
and,
works.
and I can hang
I
out here
had-
Wednesdays.
And I wanted to be here and talk about this before I went to the library and asked Lauren. I know she's moving as well, her residence, and, to me, there's another blend to get active with the library. They have wonderful craft things that I'm sure they would reach out to people with, that kind of
Barbara,
thing.
if you don't stay on as chair, how
I
are you gonna
know.
do this?
I know. And
You're
I
making
am
these plans.
I'm really totally torn. All of this I've been thinking about since, this week was really the tipping point.
Well, maybe you would consider staying until Melanie came back.
We don't know if she's coming back.
We don't even,
And if she doesn't come back, then we are faced with a situation that, let's start talking about backup
A
plans.
suggestion, though.
What?
We might all just take one thing that we're willing to do over the summer. Keep it to that. I'll do the movies. Somebody else wants to do the librarian. Or another speaker, somebody else do a potluck or whatever.
well, the potluck for July is taken care of.
Just
Yeah.
keep it,
I don't know about August. If the police would come in on August, that would be taken care of too.
if each person takes one thing, we can,
But we have a calendar, so all we have to do is know what to cover.
Right, so podiatry is already covered because Becky and Judy will do that.
Okay,
Cornhole and, or we, Sandy has covered usually, so that's Tuesdays. Yoga is going to be an issue. We had 9 of us and we're down to 3.
well, Claire's in that, so she can basically.
I can take care of yoga.
Right, but the way it's set up is Lisa gets $400 for that 8 weeks. We aren't getting revenue in except for 3 people. And that's $150.
Yeah.
So
There's no subsidy for that activity.
that would
No,
No.
we could take it out of recreation.
Yeah, but I think this time we are because the population dropped.
Yeah,
When we had 9 people and we were getting $50 a piece for 8 weeks, we were covered because her fee is 400. But when we dropped to 3 people
What
for
happened
8
that it
weeks,
dropped?
you have no idea.
you don't know, because
You
you
never
come
know.
back and then you don't know.
You never know. And some people dropped out and I felt bad because they had already paid for those weeks. And the way Lisa would like to do it is she'll re-up for the next 8 weeks. And those people who missed get so much of that 8 weeks made up because they missed the first 8. I understand, but the bottom line is we're gonna owe $400 for the next 8-week session.
Yeah, and I'm
And
looking
that,
at
I
our-
believe that 150 I've
Our
already submitted.
recreation is, we only have $1,500 in that account for next year.
But that won't roll over, right?
Oh, this is next year's budget, starting on July 1.
Oh, starting on July 1, that's right.
$1,500 for the year.
I wonder if we can pay Lisa now for that next 8 weeks out of the recreation that's left from this year.
Well, let's take a look.
Because that left. Did you say? There's 1,400 left, right?
Yeah, there's, recreation, we had $1,400 left.
So we could make out a check for her, or we don't
We're
have a
gonna
check.
have to, we're gonna have to hustle.
We can invoice her,
She can invoice us.
she could invoice us.
So we have to talk
Can we,
to-
is it by Tuesday? Is it too
That's what
late?
I'm gonna talk to Maribel about.
I mean, I could see us doing that because most of the time was offered this year as
Yeah.
opposed to next year.
See. It's dicey, but there's lots of people
Can
can
it
say
be,
is no.
what's the word that they use? Can it be marked for payment? What do they call that?
We
Not a-
prepaid.
No, I'm not encumbered.
Yes.
Can that invoice be encumbered?
We can do that. We can tell them that we're gonna encumber it, but I'll have to make sure I ask Lori that we're to set that money aside.
That, I mean, that's the legal way to do it, right? Or is there a better
Yeah.
way?
But she started the second session already, right?
Right,
So she could invoice us.
right.
Okay, so I'll ask Lori, how's that?
And I think I have her card that I can give to her.
Would it be for the full 400?
Yes. Because I've already put in the 150 that people have paid.
Yeah.
Is already in,
So that's already been vouchered for the revolving account.
I believe so. Yeah.
I would like to meet the new librarian myself.
Yes,
Yoga, you've already vouchered it and they have not yet made the deposit.
right.
Yeah,
So I will talk to her.
Because
and
I don't
invite her.
have it here, so. I'm
Yeah.
I'll
sure.
be happy to invite her to meet and greet.
Yep.
Is there a day that we have that set up for?
I was thinking, well, you just changed it a little bit because I was thinking if she can do it, I haven't asked her. The 17th would be the Wednesday at coffee.
That's not 3 days away from here. It's next month.
Next month, July.
when did the second session start for yoga?
I don't have a date. We have met 4 times. So,
Okay, so we met 4 times on the second session.
right,
Which account are you gonna pay yoga out of?
Recreation.
recreation. Well, I'm saying that, you took attendance Tuesday,
Mhm.
but I don't know that it got marked in here in the book. So I see two of my checks and last week would have been. So I think I think it's three.
Okay,
It's something like that. Lisa will know for sure. I have it marked so I know when to ask people for their next $50.
so it would have been May 28th.
We all set on Costas? Does anything more need to be done on that?
No, we should be all set on that. We should be all set on that. Oh, and I also have a list of possible restaurants because Priscilla was kind enough that if we give her a list and tell her which one we want to go to, she'll work on making the reservation. So restaurants, I heard Stone Cow, that would be a fun afternoon to walk out there. General Store in Petersham, Rick, that was yours too.
I think it's small fair and I've been there.
Yeah,
Pretty small.
yeah,
General Store Peterson?
yeah.
Small.
Okay, yeah.
Wright's Chicken Farm. But again,
The
that,
bus and stuff.
That's the bus.
transportation. Barbara's Crossing Roadhouse in Leicester,
Yeah,
Black and White.
yeah.
Now, the difference in the lunch bunch is we have always been at a distance and people make their own way there.
Right.
Correct.
So we don't need a bus or whatever. Black and White, Spencer Inn, I don't think they open till 4.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the problems there. And I put in Salem Cross because I have done lunch there,
Okay.
which would be a nice place, but, and what would your pleasure be for July?
Of all those choices?
Yeah, out of those choices.
I'm fine with any of them. I haven't been to Barbara's Crossing, so I'm curious about that one. That's me.
And it's air conditioned.
It's air
I
conditioned.
hope they all are.
Not
No,
Stone
it's not,
Cow.
no, Stone
I guess
Cow is
not.
not,
Thing
no.
about Barbara's Crossing now,
Yes.
I don't know. It could be different now, because I did that at Rutland. That was a job. And they would not do separate checks.
Oh, we can ask them then.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted one check.
Kathy is this secret resource that we have with all this experience from
It
Rutland.
was good to know.
She knows a lot about it. So Wednesday, I was going
I'll
to,
call them.
I was going
I'll
to
call them.
ask,
We calling?
I am gonna call Barbara's Crossing and ask if they will take separate checks.
I was gonna have Lauren, try for Lauren on the 17th of July, but that's a third Wednesday, if that's good for you for film. So,
When do we
if,
usually do that? 12:30?
yeah. So if you want to tell me what else, and I'm not sure if blueberries are ready by the end of July to do a picnic in a blueberry, and I haven't talked to them.
Blueberries, they come in at different times,
Yes,
different varieties.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I don't know if that's too early. I got a call. He has always come in, or it was coming in for coffee,
Yeah,
and I haven't seen him, but he's probably busy with the beginning of the season.
Probably figured out looking at old heralds, previous summers.
Yeah,
Who's gonna call Derek's farm? You want me to call Derek's farm?
oh, I can call Derek's Farm. I can call these things. I just,
Okay, I'm
I
gonna
wasn't
call
listening.
Barbara's Crossing about the
Okay.
separate checks.
Okay. Call Lauren, call Derek.
Like I said, that was a while ago.
Yeah,
Always pays to make sure, right, Kathy?
Yeah,
Okay,
oh,
so-
yeah, 'cause that could be,
Then
and
we'd have to
the other
find the
thing we can
accountant to
fit
do the
in is
bill,
when do you want to
yeah.
fit in the CPR or the craze? All we have to do is tell Tim, when
What is craze again?
Craze is, it's a new course offered to citizens for response of an active shooter situation.
Anybody interested in that?
I am.
Really?
yeah.
Well,
Why
yeah,
not?
I would,
The more you know, the better off you are.
right. When I go to CVS, I don't know which counter to fall under.
Yeah.
Or run.
He said he's gonna do, I think he's gonna do it with the school kids. He's gonna do it in a number of situations. He just certified. So I don't know, do we, if we're gonna do him at the end of the month, do we want him for a course at the same month, or do we want to put it off till August or whatever? So
Oh, shit, and that's not, maybe I wasn't supposed to write on this.
were you gonna sign it anyway?
Are we supposed to sign something?
I think so.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to ask her for another one.
Because the town clerk's supposed to sign it too, as we are sworn in.
Um,
Oops.
My general feeling on this is that we shouldn't do any more than minimal,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because we just don't have the bodies to do it,
Mm-hmm.
so.
So
when it
combine
comes- when it
things
comes to the
with
speaks-
coffee.
When it comes to the speaker, I would say maybe August. Just because
Are
we
you
don't have
talking
anyone-
Lauren, the librarian speaker?
No, I'll
or-
take care of that one, 17th of July,
Okay.
but Tim Howe with
Mhm.
course.
Mhm.
Leave it until the fall.
I mean, well, or at least August, I think we should have
Yeah.
a meeting first to talk about, the
Okay.
more people want to get involved and do this,
Yep,
rather than just divide it among ourselves.
yep.
Yeah, and I think that, if we're gonna talk to the selectmen about, we're struggling here. Taking on lots of activities is probably not underscoring the point.
Well, and frankly, the other thing in the back of my mind, if we accomplish this summer, arranging the activities and whatever, what need do we have for an activities coordinator?
Well, as we said, she prepared these calendars for us,
Yeah.
and we agreed to pick up the activities till she came back.
But
And we don't intend to continue.
I think you understand where I'm coming from,
Yeah,
though.
they're gonna
that-
say, well, if you can
Yeah.
do it now, but then we're
Right.
also presenting them with, we don't know if we can continue.
Right.
We're trying to cover minimally, because she set up the activities and
Yep.
she's not here.
I mean, the
But you wanna
activities,
leave, we can't find other people that are willing to pitch in. So, I mean, we said we would cover for it, and we're already talking about how we can back off,
Mhm.
so I think that kind of scores the
And
point.
just,
I hope.
it is very hard.
And only we would be doing this if we can convince you to stay until Melanie comes back. And when she comes back, all bets,
Then all we have is a quarter-time coordinator, all we have is a quarter-time coordinator,
Right.
and it's not enough.
What they should have done, in my estimation, is to hire one director, not Melanie. That sounded terrible. Not an activities coordinator. They should have hired one director that had some background, like Kathy, in all of these kinds of things that would have been more versed in handling all it. We got no direction starting out at all. Nothing.
the
No,
director
it's a mismatch,
salary.
but-
Yeah,
is
we got a
at
lot of
least-
misdirection. Shifting sands was the way Melanie put it. I asked today and I got this answer. Tomorrow I get a different answer, and the next day I get a different answer.
The director salary would be minimum 4 times what you're paying.
Yeah.
I know.
There's no way you would come close.
No, no.
And then-
4 times what we're paying is doubtful. It'd probably cost
And
more.
I
Oh,
did.
yeah, I say at least.
And I did, when I asked about, because it used to say in the Herald, search, directors, active searching.
Yep.
So I asked, and I was told, oh, you need a degree in gerontology, and you need a degree in social work, and you need a degree in whatever, and this, I got this, and it's very expensive. So I looked directly at them and I said, so what you're saying is that you're asking those of us who are coming on to the Council on Aging to do the work of a director that you won't pay for. And Don Hapakowski went, yep. So that's where we are. And Melanie can only do what she can do. I mean, it's set up for disaster for her to take charge of a whole event. Let's say she does Zumba, right? Zumba's in North Brookfield. If she's going to take charge of the whole event, she drives back here or does attendance, but when's she going to come to put in the money? When, the collection of the fees and everything, it's totally ludicrous. She's spending hours on the road to get back and forth between places. That's just, it doesn't work that way.
Okay, so
Yeah,
let me,
I'm
let me
talking,
just, let me
sorry.
just summarize.
Yes,
We're covering basic activities for this summer that Melanie has already put on
Put
the
in,
calendar
yeah.
and kind of set up for us.
no, this is me, but
Okay,
that's
you,
okay. Yeah.
okay. Well, she said she did a calendar, right?
Well, I did the same thing. Yeah, I don't have her calendar. This is what I have put together, knowing that there are standard dates for things like podiatry is always the third Monday and the blood pressure is always the second Thursday. So I'm able to put those in. Zumba is always Monday, functional fitness is always Friday, coffee is always Wednesday. Those are what I did. Those are standard every week. It happens.
I hate to be a real nudge, but if Melanie was spending X on number of hours coming up with a calendar for us, what do we have?
I don't have her calendar,
She set up a calendar for us, right?
but I don't have it
Well, it's in the Herald for June.
for June.
You
Yeah,
have it? So
the
she
June,
said,
the June calendar is there.
she
Yeah.
set up for July and August,
She didn't set up all of July and August. She has
some.
some. So that AG is somewhere in August, I believe, she said.
Okay. All right, and I can go into senior center and I can find it. Okay. So I can find the calendar that she has set up for me or set up for us. Okay. So. Okay, so we need a hard copy of what she set up. So I'm gonna try to get in there and get it, Barbara.
Well, I would just ask her.
I will send it. Yeah, the July and August, what she set up, we need to have. And then it's a question of whether we want to hold with it or back off of it. I don't know why this thing is so stinking slow.
Okay, so what I have is, just to kind of summarize this, no townwide yard sale.
Right,
Rick will do films on Wednesday, and he'll invite the librarian on the 17th of July. Judy, Beck, and Kathy will handle the medical appointments. Yoga will need to be subsidized out of the recreation account. Claire can oversee that.
yep,
Costas is all set. Barbara's Crossing in July. Claire will contact them.
yep.
And Derek's Farm, Barbara will contact
Mm-hmm.
Walter.
I just
Anything else?
downloaded the July calendar.
Is there anything I missed? Well, Tim Howell will talk about in August.
The
In July,
barbecue for the 26th of July with Tim Howe,
the Fire Department
Fire Department.
barbecue.
Yep.
What day is that again?
It's a Friday, the 26th,
Is that June or July?
July.
All right.
So I see the calendar, we have the events scheduled, but the particulars, the details are not there. Okay, so
So,
that's for us to fill in the details from what I can see.
so can you
Melanie may
please
have
send
some
us the
detail.
calendars for July and August with what you have already scheduled?
Good.
Okay. No need to include Zumba and functional fitness.
Is there a good date for us to have an open meeting before our next COA meeting?
Sure.
Is calendar filled? I guess should we just do that, have our next July meeting, be an open meeting and talk about the future?
And then, the other thing that we need to do then is we need to, schedule some time to talk with the selectmen about, the difficulty that we're having, one, getting attendance. Two,
Lack of staffing.
and lack of staffing, and, we would like to do a polling in the Herald to ask if people how receptive they are to going to another senior center. Because we can't, the space is too small. The people that are shouldering the work is too small.
So how do you want to handle the discussion with the selectmen?
Well, I think we need to talk to Maribel and get on their schedule. Unless they go
I mean,
some
I really
bright ideas.
feel guilty in a sense. But I know that things are going to drop through the cracks and it's just, what if I want to go away or whatever? There's just been no time for that.
And here's the other thing that I find to be a problem between us, is that Melanie does the calendar in Canva. I don't have access to Canva.
Did she invite you last week? Oh, she said she was going to invite you to
Yep.
do that last week.
Yep, yeah.
And it never happened.
But that's not that's not your
No.
issue.
No,
It's just that
Melanie.
Melanie,
Those M words will get you every
Yeah.
time.
you have to really follow up with her.
Yes, I know.
You have to follow up. She's the creative type that's a
Yep.
little,
Yep.
they're creative and
I understand.
and then there's other people that are
And
not creative.
Claire,
Is that like ADD?
Claire, what you're,
No, it's just,
Claire, what you're seeing is what I've kind of been dealing with. So
Yeah.
the calendar gets set up and you say, all right, we're having potluck on Friday. Did you have a theme for potluck? Oh, I don't know. There are people signed up. Well, if you have a theme, then they'll know what to bring. They're asking me what to bring,
Well, make it worse for me.
you
I
know?
get the calendar of month and there's at least 3 or 4 things wrong with it every time.
that's because it's coming out of Canva.
I don't know
Yeah.
who's,
And I can get myself into Canva, but I don't know how to get to her calendars.
Yeah.
Because it'd be created under her name.
And you're talking Greek to me because I don't know how to do any of it. And I don't, at this point, I have learned so much of what to do just to keep alive here. I don't want to do anymore.
Yeah, so I can't get into her Canva calendar because it's gotta be created under her name.
okay, we're running close to the 2-hour mark.
Yeah,
Yep.
so all I'm saying
Talk about
is,
staggered terms. Now we want to handle that?
Just so you know, I said, could you please send us the calendars for July and August with what you have already scheduled? No need to include Zumba, functional fitness or medical,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
speakers, etc. So she said yes. So
Do we have?
Okay, so we'll have
dates for Medicals?
yes, we already have dates for medicals.
okay, so let's summarize,
Got that.
so we know what we're doing
Yeah.
here. Okay, okay. We have right now Barbara's calendar
Yep.
for June,
Yep. No, this is July.
okay, July.
Yep.
All right, and so, and Melanie is gonna send us the calendars that she's prepared for Canva,
Right.
out of Canva, so
Oh.
we know what she's done and what we need to cover.
Well,
And I'll tell you,
I didn't ask her that way. I didn't ask her that way. I asked her to send us the calendars for July and August. No need to send us the things that are routinely done, the
That's
medical
okay.
and all. Just send me speakers. So, but I didn't ask her to send it in
Well,
Canva. I
the,
just asked her to send us the speakers and that sort of
That's
thing.
okay, because I
Okay.
can put it into this
Okay.
calendar.
All right,
It actually is good if she put in the standard stuff in there too, because the calendar is for other people.
right.
Yeah, but she's on leave of absence. She cannot work.
Then she shouldn't do the calendar. Either she does the calendar, or she doesn't.
What I'm
or she
asking,
doesn't.
what
Time
I'm
out. I'm
asking,
asking for what she's done already.
I'm asking for the speakers that she's already arranged because those were already booked with people for time and place. So that's what I'm asking
Well,
for
I'm asking,
July.
what am I gonna publish in the Herald? With medicals on it?
Medicals. are-
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
And I will fill in when do you need it? Yesterday?
The end of the-
Yeah,
You
no,
know.
this is what it will look like, which is exactly what Melanie's looks like. Because
Except it's not handwritten.
hers isn't handwritten.
No,
No,
hers-
hers
hers
comes
is.
the other way. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna, you're
That's
getting it
okay.
handwritten. So,
Okay, so.
Yeah.
We just need what she has now that should have been left with us,
right,
but she can't work. She cannot get paid right now.
right.
Okay, then the second thing is, we need to talk to, Maribel about getting on the selectmen's calendar
And
about,
dates for the money issues.
and then we're gonna talk to Melanie.
Maribel,
Maribel. To explain the email that she sent out, I think it was last night. So we understand when we have to get things into her
Mhm. And Claire, I have not been seeing that they need a I'm saying verbal, but a verbal report of activities done this year. I'm seeing more that the closing is finance. Am I right?
Oh, yes, the closing's finance. This is all finance. we're
Just
talking
finance,
now.
nothing to do with we have accomplished this much this year.
That's for publishing the annual report,
Report.
which we have to talk to Maribel.
That's
Totally different.
November. I already know that's
Oh, it's
October,
November?
November.
Okay.
Yeah. I
And then-
just don't think we don't need one now, right? I don't need to write anything so far.
Then I have to ask Frank Adams when we have to submit a summary, and I think that's sometime in September.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, we have to do a summary of what we've done. So
I
I've
think,
got
I
to,
think his is actually later. I think the town report came first and then his came after that because
Yeah.
I got the email and I said to Lucy, you already did the town report. Do you do this one or who does this one? She said, oh, I send them the same one. And then I got the emails that said, we have not received your report yet.
okay, so I read the last
Yep,
published.
Yep,
And it says September,
okay,
and they gave us a format to follow.
okay, okay.
So I need to call Frank and say, clarify date, resend the
Yep.
format to us. so
Yep.
We know the format,
Yep,
the updated format. I have to call Frank and I need to get another copy of this. 'Cause I read all of it.
and in thinking about your question, Claire,
Jeez.
I'm feeling guilty enough having done this because I feel like I'm bailing on everybody that I would stay on until Melanie
Comes back.
comes back or makes a decision.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then,
Just-
what- then we
Which
do,
would
we
just
talk
be
to
the
the,
summer.
then we do is talk to the selectmen, because this way you can give them, we can get a chance to put
Right.
it in the Herald, get some feedback, give them a final decision to give them some chance to do something that we're holding on until Melanie comes back. And then if Melanie doesn't come back, you know, we're gonna have to
And
make a
I
move.
think that's more probable than not. I hate to say that,
I think you're right.
but I think it's more probable.
Oh, clarification. Are
Yes,
you
Tim.
dropping off the council on aging entirely or just out of the president or the chair?
Chair,
So what you would do is say, I would resign from the chair
right,
as of September 1st.
right.
Or I would say 2 weeks after that, so there's a crossover if Melanie comes back,
Okay,
because you need the crossover time.
okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
so the middle of September.
I mean, especially in light, and I'm not trying to stick anybody. I just cannot keep doing this the way I've been doing it at all. And
You don't-
I
you don't
feel
owe
kind of,
anybody any
I feel
reason
kind
or
of guilty,
excuse.
but on the other hand, I can see that we need to like 3 things on this calendar. Everything else is static.
Hopefully, that's the way it should be, actually.
Right. So we're only plugging holes for July and August for like 6, maybe 7 things that can be easily, in my estimation, can be easily accomplished.
But what it comes down to, you don't owe anybody an explanation, Barbara.
No.
Well,
You owe nobody anything.
Well, she owed us one.
Okay, well, we understand, because we're here. All right, we understand, because she's
We
here.
do understand, yeah.
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 I mean,
So-
I think it's the idea that if they had prepared us, well, nobody would have gotten on the board if they had prepared us for what it was going to be like. I mean, but this, one thing at a time, it was like, like having a hangnail or a sliver, and it kept going deeper and deeper and deeper the longer you got into it, because
Chinese water
one more
filter.
thing was added and another more thing was added. So I just can't, you know,
Okay,
it's
so
a
you should-
director's job.
Yeah.
That's what
so you
it
should,
is.
I'm not going to be sworn in. I'm not gonna accept the appointment.
You're not?
No,
You can always resign.
I don't have to.
Yeah. I think you should end the meeting.
Yeah,
I think a lot of this conversation really doesn't need to be recorded.
you're right. So let's,
Yep.
I think we have everything we need
Not shy
right
about it.
now.
I resent having my term selected for me.
Okay, just please, enough.
Can I have a motion to end the meeting?
Move to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
I